with Anna Marie. It is Facebook Live. I am going to be sharing a slider card with you today. It is based on one of the new bundles in the new catalog. It's called Adventurous Sky. So it is very much like an aviator's stamp set. We have like 3 airplane images, some clouds, 3 sizes, some texture here, and great sentiments for cards, including "You always lift me up," "To my friend," "Father's Day," "You're the best," "Flying high," and "Birthday." So great sentiments included in the stamp set. This, by the way, is a red rubber stamp set or a cling mount stamp. And you will need your acrylic blocks to go along with this stamp set if you're interested in this. It has coordinating dies that outline cut some of the images in this stamp set, plus some detailed stamps that you can build some of the other card elements with. My card today also features one of my go-to shape stamp set called Stylish Shapes. It's got some graduated squares, circles, banners. It's a go-to stamp set for me all the time. So that's what it's based on. Are you interested in seeing the project? Okay, so we have a slider card. So it looks like just a, what am I thinking of? The shape of the card is going to fit into like a legal size envelope. This one slides. It's a movement card, so you're going to slide it open to say "Flying High," to say "Happy Birthday." And I am going to be sharing with you in 10 steps or less. I forgot my steps. I was going to print that out for you to share with you. I'm going to be peeking at it, I think, just to make sure that I'm sticking to my 10 steps to create this interactive sliding card. Isn't that fun? I love it. So this coordinates with the greetings card kit of the month. I'm going to be sharing with you at the end. Hopefully I don't forget to do that for you. And 10 steps or less. Let's see if I can get going on that. So let's start off talking about what we need to get started. So you will need a cardstock sheet that is 8 by 8 1/4. You will also need, I'm going to share with you all the basics that you need for, and you could create this in any theme. So you need the cardstock, card base, designer series paper from the Take to the Skies packet, and that measures, I think it's 3.5 by 7.5. You need an insert card that measures 3.5 by 7.5. You need a 3-inch circle die cut and a 3 1/4 by 3/4, and I call this the mechanism. So make sure you say hello if you're clicking on. And then we're going to need some elements to decorate the card. So my 10 steps begin with the supplies here. And step number 1, very simple. We are going to create the card base. So we're going to do some scoring. I am going to bring in my paper trimmer. I'm going to push some of these things aside and push that aside. We are going to score on the long side. So the card base is 8 1/4 by 8. The long side, therefore, is the 8 1/4 size. And so I'm going to double check, and this is the 8-inch side. So I'm going to rotate that. This is now the 8 1/4 inch side. And you can see, I'm going to show you up here on the ruler for the paper trimmer. It's at 8 1/4. So right there, this is the long side. That's the side we're going to score on. So if this is my paper trimmer, I've got my cutting blade in the garage, so it's out of the way. I'm going to be scoring with my gray blade, which is the lighter blade. It's only going to score. It's not going to cut. And I'm going to score at 4 inches. And then at 8 inches. So I'm going to push that up, and I'm now over at 8 inches. So far, all we're doing is scoring. So that's step number 1. Then we're going to fold and burnish that. And I'm not going to put my trimmer too far out of reach because we're going to be using that in just a few minutes. Again, I'm going to grab my bone folder, and we are going to fold and burnish on both score lines. So there's one, that's the 4 inch. And then we have this short 1/4 inch tab. Fold and burnish. So I neglected to say, let me bring this up. You may be seeing this slider card often in the upcoming months. This is a total case. No, not total. It is based on Michaela Tithridge's design. She presented this card at the Onstage convention in Houston back in March, and it was just an awesome card. Michaela Tithridge is a former artisan. She may be present. I'm not certain. Anyway, she does amazing work, amazing designs, and some of the time, the artisan cards are very stepped up. It's almost like I wouldn't try to go for it because it's a lot of steps and complicated. This, however, is very simple. Remember, I'm going to share it with you in 10 steps. So just to make sure I give credit to Michaela, again, she's an amazing designer and card maker. Okay, so I've done my folding and my burnishing. That was step number 1. Step number 2, I'm going to come in and I'm going to adhere my tear and tape. And if you've watched or crafted with me before, you will know when I use my tear and tape, I like to use a card, like a credit card edge, so that I can tear the tape easily. So I'm going to abut this, and hopefully you can see I'm going right up to the score line. So if you have any questions, post them right here. I'll try and monitor the questions and clarify anything that you are curious about, or if you have a comment about what I'm doing or have seen something similar, or if you think you're going to make this maybe. I think it would be an awesome birthday card, Father's Day card, and you're going to, as I say, you're going to see lots of examples with this card template. So I put the tear and tape along that 1/4 inch panel. Now I'm going to flip the card over, and I am going to apply tear and tape on this 4 inch panel that's on the opposite side. So remember, that's on that side. I flipped over. I'm going to bring tear and tape and put it right down here at the bottom of the 4 inch panel. So directly across. So this one's 4 inches. I will say this one is also 4 inches, but we want to skip over that score line. So there we go. So we've got tear and tape in position, both places, on the 1/4 inch tab and then on the 4 inch panel. So our next step is going to be to glue our designer series paper, and I'm going to bring back in my model, and I'm trying hard not to lose anything. Okay, so I've got my card. This is the designer series paper that I picked. This beautiful boho blue sky with lots of clouds. On the flip side is a smoky slate grid pattern, and this is going to be glued. So Tombow liquid glue, or if you prefer, you could use Seal or Seal Plus. Any of those flat adhesives will work. So, and you will note I apply my liquid glue sparingly. So if you apply it sparingly, you're not going to come up with a sticky mess. So I just went up an 1/8 of an inch from the border all the way around, flip it over, and I want to confirm this one. I want to check on the orientation because I don't want to put it on upside down. I'm going to have about a 1/4 inch border all the way around, and I'm just going to put that in place, secure this down, and we're only on step 3. Okay, so far pretty easy, right? So, oops, sorry about that. So we scored, we applied our tear and tape, I applied my DSP. The next thing I'm going to do is create part of my sliding mechanism. So let's see. Before I do that, I'm a step ahead of myself already. So step number 4 is to mark the vertical center of that 4-inch panel. So let's see. I happen to have a pencil right here. And let's see if I can bring in here. I'll bring my tool. I'm looking for something with a ruler. So I'm looking for the center of this 4-inch panel. So it's going to be 4 inches. The center point would be 2 inches, right? So right in the center, I'm going to mark a little X, and hopefully you can see it. It's only for you. You're going to be punching it out anyway. We're just trying to get ourselves into the center of the card. And now I'm going to bring in my 1 3/4 inch punch. This is available online, so it's still available from Stampin' Up. You might not see it in the catalog, but it is available online. And if you are on the email list and you get the tutorial, it will have the item number for you. Now I'm going to insert about, it's not even quite half, it's about 1/3 of the way through, and I'm looking for that X that I just marked to be in the center there. So I'm going to go ahead and punch. That created a slot. Now I need it going front and back, so now I'm going to fold that over and just insert and punch in the exact same spot. So I probably could have done it at one time. Sometimes though, I know some of our hand muscles are not as strong as we'd like them to be, like that. I'm trying to go through 2 layers still on some of it, so I'm just going to flip it over and bring it down. Wow. All right, so look what I got. Sorry about the loud noise. Didn't mean to wake you up. Okay, there we go. We've got our little slot, and that's what I'm calling that, a slot. So that was step number 4. We're going to go on to step number 5, which is to cut a slit 1 inch from the base. This is the base of the card, and 1 inch in, and it's going to be a 6-inch slit. So right now the card measures 8 inches. So if I come in 1 inch and come in 1 inch, it's going to be a 6-inch slit, right? So let's do that. And let me see if I can bring this over to document only. And there we go. All right. Sorry for the delay on this. Let's see if I can. Whoa. All right, let's bring that in. I'm going to need my paper trimmer. You could also do this with an X-Acto knife. So if that works for you, if you're better with the X-Acto knife, you could do that. I am just going to use now the cutting blade on my trimmer, and I'm going to go ahead and fold that open. This little tab is a 1/4 inch. So what I'm going to do is use my ruler over on the right hand side. I'm going to bring it over to 1 1/4, which means I've got 1 inch here. So I'm going to abut it up to the top just so it's nice and even. I am going to need my scoring blade, and I'm going to start it at 1 inch. So I'm at the 1 inch line marking right here, and when I bring it down to cut, I'm cutting through the card base and the DSP. It's going to be a 6-inch slit. So I'm going to stop 1 inch from the edge, and the marking should be 7. So if I can push that up a little bit so you can see, I'm right there at the 7-inch mark. And I am done with the paper trimmer. I'm going to bring that over. So look what I've got. I've got a slit in there, right? Okay, so that was step number 5. Step number 6, I'm going to bring in my mechanism. That's what I'm calling this. Now let me interject. I have seen recently this same card template created instead of the mechanism with the magnets. Now, I sometimes have the magnets available, sometimes not. This is very doable with just your regular paper crafting supplies, so you don't have to have any specialty items. We're creating a mechanism with a piece of cardstock and some dimensionals. So I'm going to take 2 dimensionals and apply them to the base of this little strip that I'm calling a mechanism, right? So I've got two mechanisms, two dimensionals on my mechanism. Now I'm going to take this, and I'm still on step number 6. I'm just going to insert it into that slit. See what I did there? So it's inside, and I applied those dimensionals right down at the bottom. Now I'm going to flip over, and I'm going to apply one dimensional up at the top of the mechanism, right? So that was step number 6. See how easy this is? That was step number 6. The next step is to align and attach. We're on step number 7, align and attach the insert to the dimensional. So I am going to be bringing this in, and why? Right in the center, hopefully. That's right. I have a feeling I cut my paper wrong. I did. I have a 3 1/4. It's supposed to be 3 3/4. Sorry. So let me get another piece here. I noticed that's too short. Whoops. On your tutorial, promise, promise it will be the right size. Let me grab a piece of cardstock and get you the right size. All right, so let me eliminate that. And I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and you're going to see how easy it is to cut this down. My insert needs to be 7 inches long. So I'm going to take my 8.5 by 11. I'm going to bring it up to 7. Actually, no, I'm going to do it the other way. Let me rotate and do my 3 3/4. I am always trying to be as resourceful as I can with my white cardstock because I go through quite a bit. So it makes more sense to cut the short side first. 3 3/4. All right. Now I'm going to rotate it and trim it down to 7. All right. There we go. Hopefully, now I'm steering you right. Okay, so now it's right. So what I'm looking for is this is going to be aligned right at the edge. I'm going to center it, bring it to the edge, and bring it to there, and I'm going to lift this mechanism. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that dimensional off, the dimensional back covering off. I'm going to stick my insert. I'm going to put it right in the center, and hopefully you can see close enough. Bring it right to the edge and bring it so it's more or less centered. I want it up just a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, so all I've done is stick it to the back there, right? Now I'm going to flip it, and you can see it is coming along. So I just did step number 7. I aligned and attached the insert to the one dimensional. Now I am going to peel off my tear and tape. Whoops, that is in place. What I'm going to do is peel off my tear and tape. I'm going to use my take your pick tool, remove the protective covering, and sometimes it's easier with that tear and tool tip, and I'm doing both. I'm also going to take it off from the 1/4 inch tab. Right through there. And that's going to be in position there, nice and straight. I'm bringing that up. It's going to be tucked in here, and I'm going to close that up so this gets aligned. And the thing with the tear and tape, make sure you've got everything in position, because once you secure it, it's on there, right? All right, so I attach the bottom. I've got this all rotated around, and the side. Okay, so there we go. So here's our card base coming along, right? So that was step number, let's see, 8. Next, I am going to take my other element. So I have a 1 3/4 inch circle, cut from the Stylish Shapes, right there. And I am going to score it. You could fold it in half. I like to help it along with my scoring. So what I'll do is bring the circle in, and I'm going to balance it right at the top here between the two guides. Close my ruler, and I'm just going to slide down and score. That makes it really easy to fold it. I'm going to go ahead and fold that down, and what I'm going to do is apply glue to one side at a time to put this into position. And again, not a lot. I'm going to keep it about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to use my card base as my guide to get this centered in here. So right there. And it's right to the score line. Now I can pull that out just a little tiny bit. Apply a little bit more adhesive. You see, I like to go in small patches. That way I don't get that sticky mess. Fold that down and secure that down. All right, so adding the circle was step number 9. So this is a 1 3/4 inch circle, which is cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. All right, so there we have that. We're next going to, we're still working with this circle, so we're on step number 9. We're going to take a retired punch that I have. This tool is called a crocodile. It is long retired, but what I like about it, has hole punches on it. And I'm going to take that smaller hole punch. I'm going through several layers of cardstock, which makes this really cool for punching. So I'm going to insert that punch. I'm going to try to find the center, bring it in, and it's hard to do when I'm looking over top. Perfect. There we go. So I've got my hole punch, and what I'm going to do now is create my little tassel to pull the slider card. So I've got baker's twine. This is like a gray granite, and I'm going to get about 3, hopefully 3 strands of 7 inches, and add the tassel to my pull tab. That's only 2. Let's get 1 more. I'm going to try to work right in here. All right, so far I haven't seen any questions. I'm thinking my simple steps are really simple, right? So 10 steps to the slider card. No extra supplies needed other than your usual crafting tools. And what I'm going to do is insert this. And so I've got 3 strands. Sometimes it's a little bit hard. So here's a tip I like to use when I'm trying to pull ribbon through a small hole. I've got my dental floss tool. I'm going to bring this through, poke it right through the hole here, and then push this through here, pull through. Really easy, right? That little, well, otherwise I would have been fussing with it for quite some time. So now all I'm going to do, let me bring those all up here. I'm just going to bring this through and make a small knot. So if the strands are too long, that's okay. You can always trim them down. It's better to have them a little bit longer than you need them so that you can knot. Otherwise, you're trying to work in too small of an area, because even the 7 inches is kind of hard to pull through. And I'm missing 1 still. Let's see if I can get it through. So I've got a twine mess right here going on. And there's still 1 little stickler that won't come through. Let me try again. If you don't get them all at once, it's kind of hard to come back and correct that. So let's try it again. bring it in and bring them all through at once. That's the key. There we go. And just knot that through. And if it's a little bit long for you, we can trim it and groom it once we're done. All right, so there we go. We've just completed step number 9. We have our card base ready. One last thing here, you can see I still have those dimensionals exposed. So what I'm going to do, I am going to add the front circle. This is the 3-inch circle from the Stylish Shapes. I'm going to press this into position. So right atop. And here is our sliding card in 10 easy steps. Our 10th step is to decorate, right? So let's get decorating. What I'm decorating with are die cuts from the Adventurous Sky bundle. And I'll tell you what I've got here. A couple things going on. I have pre-die cut as I'm decorating a couple of the clouds. And what I want to do is bring in my boho blue, and someplace around here I have a dauber. I'm just going to add a little bit of boho blue edging to the cloud, make it stand out just a tiny bit more. This Adventurous Sky is such a fun bundle. It's different, right? And it will create like masculine cards, but cards for anyone really. So I've got the largest cloud and the mid-sized cloud, and I'm doing the same, adding a little bit of boho blue to the cloud edges. All right, so I am going to adhere the clouds onto, let me see if I can push that over, onto the circle. It's going to be part of the sliding mechanism, and I'm going to have some of it falling off. So I'm going to kind of put my fingers in place. I just want to apply adhesive where it's going to stick to the circle, and again, not a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that. We don't want any adhesive behind where it falls off of the circle. And I'm going to add the smaller cloud, same way. All right, so there's the clouds for the plane. The die cut for the plane was created with Night and Navy. This is the solid part of the aircraft. We have the detail part 2 that I cut in Smoky Slate. I'm going to attach it to this layer. So I'm just going to layer up, and I'm kind of looking at where I want adhesive or where I don't want adhesive. So I know I can put adhesive here behind this solid portion, on the wheels, and then down below on the center. So those 3 places. So a little bit of liquid glue on that portion of the plane, the tail, on the wheels, and I'm not sure what you call this part of the hardware of the plane. It's going to go right into position, putting it right over top. Now, you know what? I'm going to bring in my silicone mat because I don't want to get my surface any stickier than it is. The silicone mat is perfect when you are using adhesive, so you don't get your surface sticky. And there we go. There we go. And I have one more little plain part. I've got the blade, which is pre-die cut in Smoky Slate. You actually get 2 on the one die, so you could make your blade 2, or I like just the 1, but it's totally up to you. All right, so to get this on to our card front, I'm using Stampin' Dimensionals. So let's see where I have my stamping dimensionals. Let's see. And I'm just going to put that in position. There. Bring this over. And it is flying. Now I want it to be within the area of the card base. So As long as I don't go off the card base, we're fine. There we go. So there's the card front, and you want to keep it fairly simple. You can't put anything, you can't decorate on this portion because it will obstruct your mechanism. You're going to pull and let's stamp a greeting on the inside. So my greeting, I'm showing you here. Hopefully you can see both. And we're going to start off with the happy birthday, which is part of this stamp set. I have mounted it onto block C, which is a nice size for that stamp. I'm going to ink up in Night of Navy. I want this to be a little bit darker. So when I ink up, it's tap, tap, tap. I don't want to smudge, and I don't want to have any ink around the edges of the stamp because that will show up on your project. You don't want that. And I'm just going to try and stamp straight. Not always easy when you're live on camera. Everything going good? No questions yet? No comments? Okay, so it says happy birthday. And let's see, I had to pause. The next portion, I am going to use the stamp that says flying by to say, and you will see it says hi right there. But I don't want hi because I'm flying by to say happy birthday. So here's how I take care of that. I am going to mask and omit. So I'm just going to use sellotape. And I'm going to cover up that hi. And hopefully I can do this overhead. And let me take a good look at that. It looks pretty good. I'm going to ink up. So tap, tap, tap. Now before I stamp down onto my insert, I'm going to show you, I do not want to stamp down with that blob. That's ink on there, and it will show up on your project if you stamp down now. So the trick is to remember to remove this tape that covered up the unwanted word. And then I'm going to stamp down, and I'm going to try and find my center. There we go, flying by to say happy birthday. I'm going to do a plain. This is the medium-sized plain. And I'm just doing it in Night of Navy as well. And we're just going to stamp right above our greeting. Oh, thank you for sharing, Sonia. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. All right, so there is our insert. Flying by to say happy birthday. When the recipient receives it, it just looks like a standard card. We're going to add some movement to the card, and we're going to be able to just pull that little tab. Here comes the plane literally flying by to say happy birthday. So what do you think? 10 easy steps, right? 10 easy steps to that slider card based on Michaela Tithridge's design that was presented to, I would say, a couple thousand demonstrators in Houston, on stage Houston. So we all Stampin' Up! Demonstrators got to see this amazing project from Michaela. And I thought I'd share with you my interpretation. Michaela, I believe, used the Attention Shoppers stamp set or bundle. I immediately thought of the plane. Any transportation is going to be work out well. Oh, thank you so kindly, Sonia. She has a beautiful card. She'll check the replay. The replay will be available here or on YouTube. Okay, so these are the cards. If you want the step-by-step written tutorial, you need to make sure that you are on my email list. You can click over to AnnaMariePalmerin.com. There is an email sign up there. Let me share with you, this is the same bundle that is the subject of my Greetings Card Club for May. You need to subscribe by the 20th if you want to receive this class. What's included in the class is the card kit to make all of these cards, including the bag. And here are my cards. So you're the best, plain and simple. Flying by to say hi. This includes the new metallics, and a happy birthday. It includes the tags that are on the DSP and the trinkets. And it's got a gift card / money holder project. So there you go. Happy birthday. You're the best, plain and simple. Fun fold gift card holder. So you get the kit to create the cards. You get the PDF, step-by-step PDF. And for this month, you're receiving a full pack of the DSP, which includes that fun cloud pattern. On the flip side is the smoky slate grid side. I think this is my favorite sheet. All the vintage airplanes. And on the back side, the terrain. We have the Mossy Meadow vintage airplanes. And on the flip side, the smoky slate textured pattern. That's what I'm calling that. We have a Mossy Meadow map view with all the longitude, latitude measurements. And then the flip side is a beautiful Night and Navy boho blue pattern. More vintage planes in navy. And then flip it. There's copper clay geometric pattern. And this is really cool. This sheet here has lots of patterns, including tags that you can snip off, punch, and use as gift tags or elements on your card. And then there are also other pieces on here. One of my cards includes the globe map as well. So fun design. On the flip side is more mapping with the latitude and longitude markings. I think it's upside down. And the flight path for lots of different planes. So Card Club this month includes the DSP, and it includes a full supply of the industrial trinkets. Now, if they're on back order, which right now I think they're unavailable, these are really cool, by the way. You can use them on either side. There's a detailed side and then a more dimensional side. So we'll talk about what we have to do if it comes to substituting these items. I need to check when they will be back in stock. Greetings card kit of the month is $30. Includes the full pack of paper, the trinkets, the card kit, the PDF, and all the step-by-step directions. If you need it sent to you through the mail, it's an additional $9. Or if you already have the bundle and you know you have your supplies, you can purchase the PDF only for immediate download, and that's $12.95. Deadline to join this month's club is May 20th, and I'm estimating delivery at about May 25th. So I hope you can join. I hope you click over and view the tutorial step by step again so you can create your own slider cards made just with your Stampin' Up! Product. No special purchases necessary to make your fun interactive slider cards. All right, I will see you next week for a full class that's going to feature the Unbounded Love. Let me see, give you a sneak peek. All right, this is the sneak peek of the class that you will see step by step next week. It's got a couple of fun folds, and I hope you can join me. Next week, one's upside down, we will be making the full card class. So I will see you then. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend.